Next on America's Day of the Race is graded. Stakes winner Bound for Nowhere returns from a trip to the Royal Meet at Ascot as the Wesley Ward runner inches closer to millionaire status. Major Look for top trainer Chad Brown stands in his way. The multiple graded stakes winner will try to get his first win since May of 2018. And Therapist, multiple stakes winner, 4 for 7 at Belmont Park. Back in action, he's undefeated at today's distance of 7/8. All that and more coming up on today's edition of America's Day at the Races, brought to you by America's Best Racing. For the love of the race, visit americasbestracing.net today. Great to have you with us as we get set for the final weekend here coming up Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and that is it at Belmont for the fall meets, as we have a gorgeous Friday afternoon here in Elmont, New York. And this trio going to take you the rest of the way, along with Maggie Wolfendale, Greg Wolf alongside. Four-time Major League All-Star Paul LaDuca, New York Racing Association handicapper Andy Serling. Good to be with you guys.
I came up here, I was a little grumpy, but you are like just exuding happiness, Greg, and I've come up here, it's just completely changed my mood.
It really has.
I mean,
you could tell the holiday season has really started early for Greg Wolf. Yeah.
How lucky are we?
Hey, listen, we are.
How unbelievable is it up here?
It
I
is.
was remarking earlier how we haven't had a single day that's required hats and gloves and coats up here.
Yeah.
Could be out here without our jackets on. It's that kind of warm.
No,
And
it
with
is awesome
tomorrow
today.
with maximum security, and I'm going to tell you, tomorrow's 10-race
Very
card
good
is
card.
the best card of the entire meet.
We
Come out for it.
Okay, we're going to talk plenty about it coming up. Bound for Nowhere for Wesley Ward. You guys trust him?
I think I trust him a little, reasonably. He's won off layoffs before. It's just not an easy field, as you were talking
Yeah.
about in the opening. I mean,
Yeah.
Therapist is finally getting back to the right distance, around one turn here, and Major Look has run sneaky well in his
He
races.
loves Belmont too, Major Look.
I think it's a very competitive race between those
It's all
three.
track conditions here, brought to you by Piranha Fly Spray, the preferred fly spray at Belmont Park. Piranha on Pescon, main track, fast turf is good. We're going to bring you the late pick 4, races 6 through 9 coming up. That includes that feature race that really has a stakes feel to it with Bound for Nowhere, Major Look, multiple graded stakes winner, Therapist, multiple stakes winner. Here's the 6th, though, to kick off the pick 4. This is an intriguing race as well. 7 furlongs on the turf, maiden special weight, Todd Pletcher with a horse cutting back in distance out of a stakes race, trying to break his maiden.
Yeah, you know, we had a 7-furlong turf race. The 4th race today was about as thrilling a race as you can see, and another big
Yeah.
field in here with 12 going. And obviously, Apparate?
Apparate?
Apparate,
I'm not sure.
I guess she's one of the horses to beat. I don't know. I mean, so she's stake face. So she lost by 5 lengths in 2 turf races and got 60 buyers. There's a lot going on here. There's a heck of a lot of pedigree in here. I'm betting the 8 Honor Bell, who's got nothing but pedigree
Yeah.
for turf.
A first order that I think you got to use, 18-1 in here.
Why not, though?
But that is your favorite coming out of the PG Johnson. Tried to go gate to wire. Now we'll cut back in distance. For more on this field, let's check in trackside with Maggie Wolfendale.
Guys, I think it's Apurate, which I forget what that means in Spanish. I think, then again, Larry Colmos will call her something else. As we'll take a look at some first-time starters here. And there were some good-looking ones. And we'll begin with number 1, American Values. American Values, while she came in here fit, she apparently reared up coming over here from the holding barn. And she did have a little superficial cut, but she was quiet, and then all of a sudden she kind of spaz out. So you kind of get that feeling with her. She's been okay out on the racetrack, and she looks fit, but she just doesn't look that turf meant. And for the first-time starters, it feels like her and the 11 are taking the most money. And honestly, I just kind of question that. I guess it's meaningful when Belmont takes some money, but there's no turf pedigree on the bottom side. So that kind of led me in other directions. And going to take a flyer here with number 3, Evocative. For Jonathan Thomas. He already had a first-time out winner on the turf, 2-year-old filly as well, earlier on the card. Daughter of Pioneer of the Niles, a half to Just Whistle Dixie, Bakken, some really good dirt horses. There was one horse that was okay on the turf, actually a 4-time winner by the name of Dominant Jeans, but she has that Pioneer of the Nile influence to her. She looks turf meant. She is gorgeous. She's so beautifully put together. Yeah, maybe she wants a little bit longer than 7 furlongs, but Manny Franco gave her a very brisk warm-up, and she was ready to rock and roll as we see her kind of on her toes bouncing with the pony now as we're approaching the gate. But I took a little bit of a chance with her, and as Andy was saying, Honor Bell has some pedigree. I'll let him expound on that, and she looks quick. She has an engine there, and she has Kendrick Carmouche aboard, so if she's professional leaving the gates, there's every reason to believe that she can be forwardly placed. Number 11, Candy Flower. She's a big, solid, more mature-looking filly. She looks as though she'll handle the turf. I did not love her in the warm-up. And, Greg, she's the one taking the most money, so is the money meaningful?
We shall see, Maggie. Let's go back to the 3 that Maggie was talking about. You really want to take Jonathan Thomas with the first timer on the turf?
He won earlier. He won a very weak race, to be fair.
Well, yeah, but got a win. And as Maggie mentioned, though, with the pedigree, produced a 4-time winner on the turf.
It's a dirt pedigree. It got 1 turf winner out of 5 to try it.
Who won 4 times.
It's Bakken. Yeah, but it's Just Whistle Dixie. It's Bakken. It is all dirt. It's not going to be surprising that in that group there's going to be 1 horse that can run on the turf because the dam has been a good producer. But the reality is it's a pedigree that goes towards dirt. Now, but you do have Pioneer in the Nile, so you get a turf influence there. I'm not going to knock throwing a 23-1 flyer, but this is a dirt pedigree that happened to have produced 1 out of 5 horses that tried the turf to win.
Stop yelling at me.
I'm worked up.
Wow, he got very aggressive right there.
Hey, you ever heard of that song?
I'm going to talk about Honor Bell while you guys are ignoring the race here. Miss
the
Challenge, the damn Oscar of Honor Bell. George Weaver, very nice turf horse, 86 buyer, won almost a couple 100,000 or 100-something thousand. 2 out of 3 horses that tried the turf, 1 from the dam. They were okay. This horse's work was okay, but they paid 200,000 in the 2-year-old sale. I think Honor Bell is very interesting here.
I thought
after Full Tap was a 3-time winner on the turf.
The 5 and the 7. I mean, to me,
Five's
the
a turf
5
pedigree.
has got a turf pedigree. Carriconti obviously won the Breeders' Cup Mile. And I'm going to tell you the other horse.
Lear's Princess.
I understand Gary Contessa is not on a great streak, but the 7 actually ran a bang-up race first time out on the turf. And I think that horse going to Irad Ortiz Jr. has got a shot at 14-1.
Meanwhile, the 5 as well. Favored first time out. That was on dirt at Gulfstream. The dam, 4-time winner on the turf, has produced 2 multiple winners on the grass.
4 turf winners total.
7-1 right now.
She is getting older, and her recent production is not as good as her early foals. But I agree, that horse has a good turf pedigree.
Always has to have the last word.
I'm just trying to help. I'm just trying to help, okay?
You don't like this one here, 2-1?
No. She could win, but I just would never
Dropping
bet her
out of
2-1.
a stakes
You're
race.
supposed to find a price here, whether it's Maggie's 3, the 5 who you mentioned, my horse the 8. Somebody take a price. Find somebody goofy in here. There's a lot going on. These are fun races.
How about Grand Motion with a first timer with that 11? Candy Flower,
big
Zucchini
dirt pedigree.
Zucchini Flower, the dam, multiple stake placed on grass.
Better on the dirt. A much better dirt horse.
Moving in. Here we go. Start of the late pick 4. We sent it upstairs to the voice of New York Racing for the call. He got the last word again. Darn it.
You did.
Here's Larry Colmus.
Just 1 left to load here, and it's Patterson who will come up to the outside stall. 2-1 right now on the favorite Apurate as Patterson slowly comes up to the starting gate. Well behind the gate right now is Patterson. And here she comes forward. And she does not go in. Rider is off. Jose Lezcano dismounts. And they'll attempt to load Patterson without the rider. And now she is in there. So just waiting for Jose Lezcano to hop aboard, and we'll be ready for a start. They're all in line. Patterson's rider is off once again. Jose Lezcano getting back aboard. They're off. Slow beginning for Honor Bell and American Values. A quick start for Carracanti Flyer. who speeds out to the lead with Logic and Reason. Patterson on the outside, and Trash Panda goes up there too. Then Candy Flower, followed by Evocative on the inside as they continue up the backstretch. Toast and Jam is next by another 2. Then it's One Time Around Porte on the outside, followed by Ill Will. Then slow starting Honor Bell and American Values. 22.85 was Caracanti Flyers opening quarter mile, and the lead is 3/4 of a length. Logic and Reason tracks in second, Trash Panda third, Patterson fourth on the outside. Evocative now grabs fourth along the rail, then Toast and Jam, followed by One Time Around Porte between horses, Candy Flower on the outside. Ill Will is in behind them. And then it's Honor Bell and American Values well behind through a 46.51 half. Caracanti Flyer turning for home in front. Logic and Reason now sidles up alongside, and the two of them turn for home together. Evocative is third, 2.5 lengths behind them. Then comes One Time Around to the outside, and fourth and Porte down toward the rail. Furlong to go. Outside it's Logic and Reason. Caracanti Flyer back into second on the inside. Porte is taken third. Evocative is fourth. It is Logic and Reason. Logic and Reason and Joel Rosario running away to win it over Porte, who got second late from Caracanti Flyer. Evocative was fourth.
Logic and Reason went off a slight second choice at 2-1 here. Christophe Clement, Joel Rosario, Maiden Breaker, start number 3.
Nothing better than a wide open 12-horse field and seeing the 2-2-1s run 1-2 here, Paul. But Logic and Reason was just much the best.
Yeah, it really was. And you could see that Johnny V on the 4 cut to the rail and actually made a great move. He saved a ton of ground with the 4, but the 6 is just the best. It's just the race is over right here. The 4 is playing catch up, but right now the 6 is just going to take off.
So all you do is you take the 2 favorites, put them 1-2 behind your long shot, Maggie's long shot, and throw out my long shot.
Yeah,
you
right?
crush the super. It's such an easy game.
Yeah, second choice, this horse. They hit this horse late, huh?
Yeah, first got pounded.
Yeah, they did.
She won like she
6,
should have been 2-1.
4, 5, and the first timer Evocative hitting the board, getting fourth in there, Manny Franco. But Logic and Reason much the best in this spot. We thought it was so wide open.
I'll be
at the end. No,
I'll be losing money in Honor Bell, my horse, when she runs the turf at Aqueduct. Okay, just letting you know. Consider yourself warned.
Logic and Reason gets the job done as the late pick 4 starts off with a second choice.
That's okay.
Prices set up the 7th when we come back here on America's Day at the Races.
I think the bonus is really interesting. Mr. McInvale, as usual, is thinking outside the box, doing a wonderful job promoting his horse. Buyers will really appreciate having an opportunity like that to come back and run their horses at these top tracks and earn that bonus.
It's a wonderful incentive both for people in the market and people that own these horses. And I mean, what a great bonus it would be for anybody that wins. I think it's wonderful.
Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
It only takes 20 cents to take down an Empire. The Empire 6 is the jackpot 20-cent pick 6 bet that's offered every day at Belmont Park. One unique winning ticket earns the entire net pool, plus the jackpot carryover. Without a unique ticket, 75% is distributed to winners with 25% added to the jackpot. Win big with the Empire 6. Next mandatory payout date, Sunday, October 27th. Visit nyra.com/Empire6 for complete details.
Back on America's Day at the Races, our show brought to you in part by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Logic and Reason goes off at 2-1. Christophe Clement coming out of a productive race. Went against Ohms, who would go on to win the Grade 3 Matron out of that performance. Now 2 for 2 in the turf.
And Ohms going to try to stretch out and run the Breeders' Cup in the mile race.
Okay.
Breeders' Cup, be interesting to see. And it doesn't make sense, Paul. You and I could never have a horse called Logic and Reason.
Right? Yeah, and congratulations, really, by declaration of war, the awfully wild mare. Oh, Mrs. G and Joel Rosario continues to have a great meet here, and he's on a little bit of a roll heading into Breeders' Cup weekend.
He's made every right move except going to Laurel yesterday instead of riding in New York.
Yeah, he got rained out. Yeah.
Said downstairs to Maggie.
Oh, yeah. Oh, here with trader Christophe Clement for Logic and Reason. And Christophe, third time, it seemed as though this was a filly that just kind of kept getting better throughout her efforts, and two, had a bit of a trouble trip in her debut.
No, absolutely. She was very green when we won her first time in Saratoga. She won a very good race last time, finished third. The winner of that race was that impressive filly of Godolphin with Michael Steedham, which was very impressive. Came back, and I think, to win the stakes afterwards. So the form was good, and she went very well today. Joel was aggressive, but it paid off, and she won going away, which is fun.
Yeah, and Alms, as you alluded to, trying the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf for the fillies. So that's always promising when you finish behind one like that. But Christophe also going to send out Therapist in race 8, and he is cutting back to the 7 furlongs. He's run valiantly going longer, but he does love this distance.
I think so. You know, he ran in one over that distance in the spring. You know, all the New York bred programs, all these races are a mile, 16 mile and 8, so we had to try it. And but it's fun to run him 7-8. Unfortunately, it's a very tough race. Welcome back to Belmont, but you know, we'll try and we'll see what happens.
I'm wishing you the best of luck, good things to start with a winner, of course.
Absolutely, we'll enjoy that one.
Definitely Logic and Reason, the homebred, the Maryland bred for the Elkstone Group and Stuart Grant. Guys?
Looked very impressive. It's a decent group.
What's up with the Maggie glasses look? It's a new look.
I like
it.
the
Looks
glasses.
good. No, I do.
Oh, yeah.
I love them. I wear glasses because I'm lazy.
I need to don them one day. Maybe before the end of our run here.
I like
Really?
attention to
Sunday's our
detail.
last
Maggie
show.
wore them. You're going to wear them now
Attention
too?
to detail, and I think that's what Clement does with his horses. You see that little pocket square?
Ooh.
And if you're alive in this empire, we said this yesterday, it paid about, I want to say $2,300, and you didn't get that big of prices. You're looking at a bigger score today. In these last 3 races, I could see it, maybe not this race, because it looks like maybe 3 or 4.
1 of 3 are probably going to win the 8.
Yeah.
The last race is wide open,
Last
especially
race
if you
could
try,
get something
you try
wacky,
to
yeah.
beat the 11. I think there's a lot of
Yeah,
things going on.
exactly.
And this race, I mean, I picked the favorite Leotone, but 2, 4, 5, 6,
Yeah, I'm with
8.
you.
Well, here it is, mile and a 16th, $50,000 claiming race. And yeah, Leotone looks like he should be able to control things in here, but Super Dude may put a little pressure on as
Yeah,
well.
those are the 2, yeah. They should be out there rolling.
I thought Supreme Aura was interesting, the 6 horse at 11-1 right now, but we'll talk more about it coming up. We got a big one tomorrow. The Bold Ruler and Maximum Security Haskell winner, DQ'd out of a Derby win, returns to action. We'll have it live. We'll talk about it next.
Flatter. This prolific son of AP Indy has sired 6 millionaires, including Eclipse champion West Coast. This year, he's adding even more stakes winners to his outstanding record, including Sovereign Award winner Avies Flatter. In the auction ring, his yearlings have topped the Fasig-Tipton July sale 2 years in a row. Success on the track, success in the ring. Flatter, standing at Claiborne Farm.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
Not since Danzig has a stallion seen this much early success. He's not just setting records, he's making history. The best started stud ever. Uncle Mo, the momentum continues.
Whether you have Derby dreams or Midsummer Derby dreams, this is Tom Durkin to tell you a registered New York bred can take you there. That New York bred Exact and the Whitney by multimillionaires Diversify and Mind Your Biscuits shows the kind of quality that allowed New York breds to earn more than $93 million on the world stage last year. On-track successes have spurred New York bred sales result. At the March OBS sale, Chestertown sold for $2 million. And this New York bred 2018 yearling brought $1 million at Saratoga. So get with the program at nybreds.com.
This year's Triple Crown took racing fans on a truly wild ride, leaving the question of 3-year-old division supremacy wide open.
Maximum Security. Country House went 2 down to the line. Maximum Security wins the Kentucky Derby.
Or so we thought. After an agonizing 20-plus minutes, stewards would rewrite Triple Crown history.
They disqualified him.
They did. So for the first time in the history of the Kentucky Derby, the horse that crossed the line first has been disqualified.
In the Haskell, following a narrow defeat in his first race back since the Derby DQ, all eyes were on Maximum Security. He proved he's far from done.
Maximum Security just in front. Mucho Gusto, Valiant, but Maximum Security has won.
With that win, Maximum Security remains in the conversation for top 3-year-old honors. They'll look to add another win to the resume in the Bold Ruler Stakes, Saturday at Belmont Park.
He is back in action. His first start since his Grade 1 Haskell win. Can Maximum Security take it to the max? We'll see. He's been brilliant, and a horse who has just an incredible story behind him, historic disqualification in the Kentucky Derby. We were just having an argument offset about who we think gets to the lead in this race. Andy, you think he actually gets out quicked here?
Oh, I do think he gets outrun early, and I don't think his connections are going to be sending him anyway from the inside. And listen, obviously you want to win, but this is a stepping stone to the Clark or the Cigar. So it's not a must-win situation for him. He's facing older horses for the first time. And I'll tell you what's interesting. 3 of us were having an argument about him off air. I'm going to say this is probably the most talked about racehorse, along with obviously like a Zenyatta, Rachel Alexandra, and that kind of debate, a non-Triple Crown type horse, an American Pharoah Justified. This horse is more, right?
Well, I would say even more so because, just people who don't follow the game. I mean, Zenyatta, you had to be in the game a little bit to even know about her.
Rachel, too.
Everybody knows this horse.
Yeah. No,
right?
I agree.
No, I agree. And listen, whenever a horse gets disqualified from the Derby, it's historic, obviously.
Has it happened before?
I mean, like, and the way it happened on the turn, a lot of times you don't really see that. The horse, it wasn't the jockey's fault. The horse shied away from something, and then he came back, he lost. Then there's a lot of doubters in the Pegasus, and he came back in the Haskell. He beat Mucho Gusto, but who did he really beat? He's going to have to prove himself the second half of this year. He really does. And I'm happy that he's coming back as a 4-year-old, too.
Well, he did finish ahead of Code of Honor.
Sure.
Now, Code of Honor's improved since then, but he did beat him fairly easily in the Derby. And I just love that this is a horse that's caused attention. And I hope people are coming out to see him run tomorrow. And if you can't come out, watch the show, see Maximum Security tomorrow.
And he beat him in the Florida Derby as well, Code of Honor. Obviously, Code of Honor's become a better horse since then.
But he beat him. He finished ahead of him.
No question. It's our ABR race of the week. So first start back since late July in the Haskell, off the layoff, had to deal with colic coming back. They say he's 100%, but he's facing older horses. He's facing accomplished runners, including Killybegs Captain in this spot, who's 6-1 Morning Lion, who comes in off a win in the DeFrancis Memorial Dash.
Killybegs Captain, John Terranova's done a great job with this horse, and he's one of those honest racehorses that just seems to show up and run well in all of his races. While he's not my top pick in here, you just have to respect this horse, and he can make his own trip. He's got speed, but he also can rate, Paul.
Yeah, and I don't think the distance is an issue. I guess stretching a 1-turn mile is okay, but...
Well, it's 7 furlongs.
Yeah, I mean, 7 furlongs, but it might be stretching him. The mile and 16th he ran in the Challenger at Tampa was very, very good. So I think he's got a very good shot if they go really fast up front. And maybe, Prince Lucky, we're watching out on the Kelso. Like Andy said, if it wasn't for Maximum Security's, sort of resume or who he is, this horse could be the favorite.
I'm not sure he's not really the horse to beat in this race. He draws well on the outside of the horses in the pace. He far and away ran the best race. Pat in the back had to run a career race to beat him. If you're confident that Prince Lucky's going to run his good race, I think he's the horse to beat it.
He crushed Quip in a graded stakes race beginning of this year.
When he's good, he's good.
Yeah. Quip was...
I love this horse tomorrow.
Thought to be a serious horse in the handicap division this year. All right, go ahead.
I have been waiting for Diamond King to run a 1-turn, 6 to 7 furlong, particularly 7 furlong race, since his last one was as a 3-year-old, and I think the Swale down at Gulfstream. I can't knock the connections. He's made plenty of money, and he's done okay going these 1 1/8 or mile 2-turn races. But I believe this is an extraordinarily talented sprinter who is finally getting a chance to do what he wants to do, and I think he's going to win the Bold Ruler tomorrow.
Part of our weekend stakes. We hope you join us. It is going to be a lot of fun. Maximum Security back in action. In the Bold Ruler stepping stone, as Andy said, to either the Grade 1 Cigar Mile or the Clark at Churchill Downs. Killybegs captain, does his Forgo not win this race tomorrow?
It certainly gives him a chance here. How about his John Nehrude, where he completely blew the brake and he still managed to finish third, closing into that no pace? I mean, this horse he just keeps hanging around. You know what horses that are hanging around? They just run well. They win races sometimes, and I won't be shocked if he wins.
Yeah,
this is a
isn't Killybegs captain the kind of horse that he runs to his competition, right? Right to Matoli, right to them. So I think he'll run up to these horses.
This is the one you got to probably catch to beat here in the 7th here. 50 claiming race, mile and a 16th coming up. Last 2 times he's been on dirt. Gate to wire wins as we head downstairs to Maggie.
And Greg will pick up with Laytone here for trainer Jason Service. An interesting horse because I get why Connections have consistently tried him on the turf. Now, his only win came on the turf down in his native Chile, but he, as you see the front bandages back on, and they're on for his dirt efforts, he has the propensity to run down pretty badly. I mean, I remember the day that Jason claimed him and he won for the 12-5. I mean, he had pretty much everything you could put on a horse as far as rundowns were concerned, and he still did so through that. So that's when their ankles, especially his hind ankles, kind of get that abrasion with the dirt. But he seems to run through it, and he's more effective on the dirt. So those front bandages go on. You can see the kind of protectiveness on those hind ankles as well. Otherwise, he looks fantastic here. So it's just kind of a weird thing that a horse that does do that is that much better on the surface that he does that on. So we'll move on to number 2. That is Control Group. First off, the claim for Jeremiah Engelhart, and he's kind of been in the barns of the very dangerous claiming barns, and Rudy Rodriguez, Linda Rice, and now for Jeremiah. I thought last time he did encounter a little bit of trouble down the lane, but almost kind of hesitantly ridden as well. He still ran on a bit, which was good to see. He looks fantastic here. I mean, if I had to kind of pick out a horse to go against Laytone in here, it would be Control Group, as we'll see what he can do first off the claim. As also taking a look at number 6, Supreme Aura, another one making the first start off the bench. Now, this horse, they just threw a bucket of water on him. That's why he looks like that. But he does have a little bit of kidney sweat, but that's not of the ordinary with him. I will say he did get fairly wound up in the paddock back at Saratoga, but like I said, it really doesn't affect his running whatsoever. Now, front bandages go on him, but that's a Chris Engelhart thing. All of his horses run in front bandages, so don't be deterred by that. Otherwise, really like what I'm seeing from Supreme Aura. Greg?
All right, thank you, Maggie. And there's the one who will pilot Supreme Aura, Junior Alvarado. What a summer and fall he has had.
How about Supreme Aura? Joel Rosario, Pablo Morales, Joe Bravo, Adam Pesquitza, Tyler Bays, Adam Gallardo. Bravo rode him back, and then you got Chantel Sutherland, Gary Stevens, our own Gary Stevens. This horse has had 8 different jockeys, now 9 different jockeys in 11 starts.
We have the 7th coming up here. New audience joining us. We're going to reset things. You're watching America's Day at the Races. 7th is next. Welcome to America's Day of the Races on Fox Sports 2, and those just joining us on MSG+. Great to have you with us. Our show brought to you in part by America's Best Racing. For the love of the race, visit americasbestracing.net today. We are live in Elmont, New York. Final 3 days of the meet, or 2 days and 3 races coming up, as we'll bring you the late pick 3 ahead. Greg Wolf alongside for 4-time Major League All-Star. Paul LaDuca, New York Racing Association handicapper. You warm enough there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Andy Sterling. Are you sweating?
We have 3 good races coming up, and our feature race, it's that 8th race. We're bound for nowhere. Horse has been to Royal Ascot on a couple of occasions for Wesley Ward, former graded stakes winner. He's got to deal with some other stakes winners though in that race.
No, that's a really big matchup in there. I like that. Therapist is getting back to 7 furlongs. I mean, that's really the distance that he wants, 7 furlongs. He's 1 for 1 at that distance this year. It's a tough spot. Major Looks getting some class relief, and I thought he ran very well in the 4-star Dave, making that early move in the fast pace.
And he might be a better horse cutting back in distance too as well. Major Look, and he's a horse that's run 4 times here at Belmont, 2 wins, 2 seconds. And his race in the Woodbine Mile, it just wasn't his type of race. He got floated so far on the first turn. He had no cover and no chance. He's going to bounce back today. He's the main danger to the favorite.
Last time he won, he beat Inspector Lindley, who would go on to win the Lure. Became a 3-time stakes winner after that on turf.
I love Inspector Lindley.
Very good horse. Yeah. Track Edition is brought to you by Piranha Fly Spray, the preferred fly spray of Belmont Park. Piranha on, pests gone.
I don't think the pests are gone up here, Greg.
Fast. Turf is good. They're not. I need some for the guy sitting next to me. Today's races, we're going to bring the late pick 3, races 7, 8, and 9. I love these last 3 races coming up.
No, the races today have been really interesting. Big fields, interesting races, and we continue on through tomorrow. Racing, I mean, even Sunday's card is excellent. Some great matchups. How about Complexity coming back against Instagram on Sunday?
Ooh, Instagram back in action.
Yeah, I like it.
Champagne winner of Complexity from last year as well.
By the way, for those who just joined us on MSG Plus, we just told FS2 about it, but got to join us tomorrow. Maximum Security, DQ'd out of the Derby, back in action. You could bet the race as well with Naira Bets. $200 new member bonus. When you get signed up and started, you'll get $200 in your account when you use the promo code LIVE at sign up. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime with NairaBets.com. But yeah, tomorrow is going to be a lot of fun. Sunday as well. Final couple days here of the meet coming up before the scene shifts to Aqueduct.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to be back for 6 months. You've got Maximum Security running here tomorrow on a tremendous 10-race card. The weather's going to be terrific. Yeah. It's been warm all week. Come out to Belmont tomorrow if you're in the area. Obviously, watch us on the show if you can't make it out, but if you're in the area, come out and visit beautiful Belmont Park. We won't be back for 6 months.
Bold Ruler, stepping stone for Maximum Security to either the Cigar Mile. We will have the Cigar Mile. We will have that show at Aqueduct.
We will. That's right. You're coming back.
Yes.
Excellent. I'll be at Aqueduct every day.
But yeah, using a stepping stone to either Cigar Mile or the Clark. So we'll see. But you got to either get out here or watch our show tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. Here is Fermento. His last race, it fits with this group if he can repeat it.
I hear you. I agree with you on that. My question is, has he gotten better when he's been going those 7 furlong races? Yeah. I know it's one turn, but I feel like this is a little past what his best recent races are.
Jeremiah Engelhardt claimed off of Linda Rice control group last start.
Yeah, you know, the worry about control groups, this 5-year-old son of Posse, 10 for 27 lifetime, 0 wins here.
He's a better two-turn. This is truly a better two-turn horse control group.
Mills, David Canizzo claimed off of David Donk, Joel Rosario.
He last won when I had hair.
It's been a while, but over 500,000 in career
really
earnings.
Cool horse who shows him good races. He just doesn't want to win anymore.
Gate to wire on dirt, then he goes to turf, gets beat, goes gate to wire on dirt again, goes to turf, back on dirt.
Yeah, and he's going to be the one to catch. The 8 Super Dude's going to have to keep him honest early, or he can get away from this group at 8-5.
6-1. This is Zulu. Jose Ortiz aboard for Jorge Navarro.
At one time, is the Triple Crown Trail and second behind Mohaymen in the Fountain of Youth. I thought his race 2 races back would make him tough, but he was disappointing last time.
I think this one has some back class that makes him tough. Supreme Aura, Chris Engelhardt claimed off of Mike Stidham last out.
I'm with you. 3 for 12 lifetime. I like that the horse is lightly raced, and the horse was gelded in 2019. So as a 2-year-old, has matured, I think, a lot more now. So we'll see what happens.
Bob Dunham sends out no distortion. Eric Cancel.
Yeah. He looks like he's a little tough.
Super Dude. Wow, this is a nice price on Super Dude, who has some big numbers.
He's in good form, right? I mean, 3 for 8 this year, 2 seconds. His last race at Delaware was very good. He's the horse that can stalk. Since they put the blinkers on, he's got tactical speed. He has to stay on up top the 4 and then finish him.
And a little bit like Leotone. His last 2 on dirt, he's got a turf race in between. He won. Here's long shot, Fleet Irish. Any shot outside here to hit the board, Andy?
His race 3 back at Finger Lakes gives him a chance, and he has run well at Belmont before. His last couple races a little bit slow, though.
All right, so that's our field.
He's run some good races here, though, the 8 and the 9. The 9 is like a tiny bit sneaky, right?
He's got a shot to fill out the Octafecta.
Yeah, the Octafecta. Yeah, maybe like the Super. Why not? I mean, the horses run some bang-up races, and if you look, comes from way out of it. So if the race breaks apart...
Is it supposed to break apart,
No,
though?
Maybe not, but the races at Belmont this horses have run, 4 out of 5 in the exacta.
Is Leotone kind of... being chased by control group and Zulu here?
Does the 8 have to challenge the 4, or does the 8 to say, let's make this a 2-horse race and see who wins?
I don't know if the 8's going to be as close as you guys think he is. I think that horses like Zulu and control group will be closer to the 4 than the 8.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, potentially. We'll see. Let me just the 4.
Well, I mean, this is Leotone obviously taking the field gate to wire last time. Then this
Or
is
two
what's
back
going to, or 2 back. This is what's going to happen if they basically let him out there with the lead at the top of the lane. There's really nobody in here that can maybe pass him if he's uncontested all the way around the racetrack.
He's a tough customer when he's out in front, but you look. I mean, 2 back. That win was for 12-5 claiming.
Yeah,
now,
but he beat Mills and Supreme Aura.
No, I get it.
No, I listen. He is a little untrustworthy. Why did George Weaver drop this horse so significantly 4 races back? Right. Obviously, Jason Service bit, and it was a tremendous claim. This horse has done well for him. He ran actually well in the turf 3 back.
Second to Gunnevera.
He has won his last 2 straight dirt races, right? I mean, this horse has back class. These are the kind of horses that successful claiming trainers, whether it's Jason Service or others, are able to do well with, right? They claim them and they get them closer to that previous good form, like when he was running behind the likes of Gunnevera.
2 minutes to post here in the 7th. Let's check in downstairs with Maggie Wolfendale.
I want to take a look at Super Dude, who comes back here for trainer Rudy Rodriguez after a win down at Delaware Park. And as Paul pointed out, I think the blinkers have really, really helped this horse overall. And he's a bigger, good-looking type. So the more ground he kind of gets to cover, the best, I think, the better he becomes. So one-turn mount of 16th, it does feel as though it suits him. But as I get it back to you guys, watching that last race, I want to get your thoughts, because it looked at the head of the lane at Delaware, he was going to finish 3rd. And then all of a sudden, he's resurgent in between horses. Was that more him being good and better, or were the other 2 stopping? What did you guys think?
I felt like the other 2 horses sort of ran their races, so I don't know if they stopped. Maybe he just sort of outran them. It's hard to tell. I mean, can you really tell if a horse is outrunning another or if the other horses are sort of stopping? I mean, it was a fast enough race to suggest they all ran to their races. He just ran slightly better.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, that's a tough call because you never really can project. Yeah, exactly. And when you're 6-5, I guess you're supposed to do that. Yeah.
Do you know the story? The 3rd horse, DeGrom, of course.
Of course.
A friend of ours was calling him once when he broke his maiden, and is not a baseball fan, and was calling him Degrom.
Oh wow!
And I had to listen to it, and you can't call the track announcer.
Yeah,
After he crossed the wire, I said, "Not a Met fan."
Yeah. Sometimes it happens.
Yep.
Sometimes it happens.
Not a bad pitcher.
Shall remain nameless.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
I think I heard that story.
Very good race announcer. One of the great announcers in the game right now.
We've made our share.
Well, come on! If you haven't done stupid things in racing, you're not really working in racing or following racing.
That's actually pretty true.
I wouldn't make fun of somebody unless I had the highest respect.
Would you take 3-2 on the 4 in here though?
No way. No way. I mean, he's a lot. Going turf to dirt, he's been incredibly effective. He's got to get the lead, though, right?
It's too short a price. Listen, he breaks, he's supposed to be in front. I picked him, but this is a tough price to take. On the other hand, I don't know about you guys, it feels like when these Jason Service horses get bet like this, they usually
win. At the price, I would, if it's between the 4 and the 8, I'd rather take the 8 at 3-1, wouldn't you?
I would take the 8 at 3-1. You're getting a little bit better price. You're going to get the horse that's going to get first run at your favorite. I don't know if that's a good thing because you can get stung, and when you get stung, it makes another horse maybe loop them, or it puts then the 4 puts you away. We'll see what happens. That would be my choice, the 8.
I think the 5 and 6, both of them at 8-1, are much more appealing bets at those prices than either the 4 or 8, personally.
Yeah, 6 my top pick here.
Yeah, I think I use 4, 5, 6
The 6 is a ridiculous
pick
price. The horse is 9-2 on the morning line. Should not be 8-1.
Why is Zulu 8-1?
Of course, the 6 is a former stakes winner.
No, yeah, the horse should not be.
There's a lot of them in this field.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
the
not
thing
that
about
long ago.
Yeah, the thing about the 6, he's lightly raced, so he can improve. You know.
Yeah.
He's fine. He shouldn't. I think 8-1's an overlay.
But these connections, they get over bet. They take a lot of money. But as Andy said, usually when Jason Service does, it means the horse is live.
Except
and they're tough to beat.
He was a bit dead in the board at Saratoga when he beat this field at 4-1. So who knows?
Here we go. Can Leotone the 4 get to the front, cruise along, go gate to wire? We're about to find out. Let's send it upstairs. Larry Colmus with the call of the 7th.
They're all in line. They're off. Leotone right out to the early lead. Super Dude away running in second on the outside. Then Control Group, followed by Zulu as they head up the backstretch. Farther out, No Distortion is away running in 5th by another 3. Fremento and Supreme Aura are side by side. Clear of Mills. Fleet Irish is the trailer. So they head up the backstretch, Late Tony in front through the opening quarter mile in 23.31 seconds, 3/4 of a length in front. Super Dude follows in second, Control Group is third, Zulu fourth outside of Control Group and 4 lengths from the front. Then a line of 3, Fremento, Supreme Aura, and No Distortion, and they're clear of Mills, who's got 7 lengths to gain at this stage, and is 5 lengths ahead of Fleet Irish. So it's Late Tony in front, completing a half mile in 46.28. The pace has been solid enough. The lead is a half a length. Super Dude on the outside, second, Control Group third, Zulu follows in fourth. On the rail, No Distortion is fifth, and now is 5.5 lengths off the lead. Then Mills moving 3 wide around Supreme Aura and Fremento. Fleet Irish is still the trailer, and Late Tony is still the leader. Late Tony by a length and a half. Super Dude comes under pressure. Late Tony scampering away here, opening up by 2. Super Dude full out second. Coming up the rail, No Distortion into third, Control Group fourth, 3/4, 111.22. And Late Tony is in hand, coming to the 8th pole with an expanding lead. It's a 5-length bulge over Super Dude in second, and they're well clear of the others. Late Tony and Jose Lezcano could not have won any easier than this. They just romp home to victory. Super Dude was second. Fremento got up for third. No Distortion was fourth.
Late Tony, he is just too tough to beat right now. When he gets the lead on the main track, he's won his last 3. This was easy as could be.
140 and 2/5 for him. It was a very honest pace, and it was interesting. It looked like Super Dude. You guys were right, by the way. He was in the right stalking position outside of it. Looked like he was ready to pounce, and you saw his rider, Luis Saez, ask him on the turn, and he had nothing, and Latoni was just under cruise control. I mean, this is a 12.5 he claimed this horse for. It looks like a stake horse in this race, Paul.
It's crazy. And the 8 beats the rest of the field by about 7 lengths. And you get Fremento. No Distortion actually made a very big move there to run fourth, but
only about a second off the track record.
Unbelievable.
I do think, and this is a very impressive performance, the rail's been good today.
Yeah.
Look at the 18-1 shot with Ball and Raison. The horse came up the rail to win the race number 5. The 3 horse where you like the 2 probably was best in there, chasing outside the whole way. So I think there's an argument that the inside is pretty good today.
Wow.
But this was, it can be a good rail and still run well. Fremento, you got to love the old pro Fremento.
Yeah, getting third in here. How about that?
No
It's
distortion.
23-1, and that's No Distortion at 43-1.
So I didn't like Super Dude. I couldn't win here, but example of why supers can be fun. Dime supers. Chalks run 1-2. It's going to be a huge super. You just need to somehow get No Distortion in there.
4-8-1-7, 7-5 favorite. Won his last 3, gate to wire, all on the main track. Jason Service, Jose Lezcano. Prices set up the 8th next.
It's been home to some of the sport's biggest moments, monumental achievements, and extraordinary records. At Santa Anita, we'll set another before the first gate even opens, as the Breeders' Cup returns for a record 10th time. This November, the stars will shine. Champions will be crowned. And when the unbelievable happens, you'll want to be there to see it. The Breeders' Cup World Championships.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one of a kind, high speed, high stakes action. And Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com. Sign up now for a $200 new member bonus with promo code LIVE at NairaBets.com.
America's Day at the Races continues here as we look to have a fairly competitive 50-claimer, but Laytone, he took all the money and he took them all the way home in impressive fashion for Jason Service and this guy aboard, Jose Lezcano. Now 2 for 4 as far as your mounts aboard Laytone, and the last 2, Jose, on the main track, he has dominated his competition. Why, in your opinion, is this horse better on the dirt as opposed to the turf?
Well, I think it's better in the dirt, which is kind of one-pace horse. And, you know, the dirt is better for him. You know, the grass, you know, you have to sprint it home, and he's not that kind of horse, you know.
He seems to be able to just kind of click off 12s, if not a little less than that, just the whole way around there. And he actually went pretty quick today. Did it feel as though he was going that fast?
He got that long stride, you know, he's, you know, feel it. You know you go fast, but he's not feeling like going that fast, you know. But he's doing easy today, you know, the whole way around, and never had to ask it for nothing, you know.
It was impressive to watch. Also impressive to watch was you going back to your win against, or aboard Alms, I should say, who's heading towards the Breeders' Cup, your Breeders' Cup mount for Mike Stidham. And you had told me that day, Jose, that you thought she'd be better going longer, and they're going to try it, going a mount of 16th out there in Santa Anita. Are you excited?
Yeah, very excited. I think he'll be all right in that spot, you know. I think the longer he can go, the better. Also, right?
Well, wish you the best luck. Congratulations here with Laytone.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we had mentioned Alms before. Jose is going to head out to California to ride her. I think she is pretty interesting in that spot, given the fact that, well, it's just the Europeans she has to beat.
Oh, that's all. Aiden O'Brien and company. We'll see, but she's been good. 2 for 2 so far. She looked very impressive. Those 2-year-old races, the Future Stars Friday, going to be a very fun program.
No, that is always a fun program to watch all the young babies run. You see the prices for race number 7. Laytone crushed them, $4.90. That pick 3, actually not that bad.
Yeah, it was okay.
Empire 6 follow along with Laytone. This is getting hit today. There's not going to be a unique ticket.
There'll be winners on Sunday when we have the mandatory payout. That's when you want to play.
The card's
right.
tough tomorrow.
Well, we wanted it to get there.
Yeah,
and it looks like good chance we will.
It's so hard. I mean, with 150,000 bets today, that's 750,000 tickets.
Yeah, sure.
All right, our feature race coming up next. 7
Tough day
furlongs
for
on the
Craig.
turf. $100,000 allowance optional claimingers. Therapist opens as the 7-5 favorite in here. We've seen this horse race a lot on our show. He's a favorite of ours. 7 furlongs probably his best distance.
I agree. And this is what Christophe Clement has been waiting for. I mean, he's going to end up the 3rd choice, but he's a big-time player in this race. The fact that he's run as well as he has this year in pretty much all the wrong races shows what kind of form he's in, and now he's finally getting to do what he was meant to do, which means he's probably going to run his best race, and he's going to be a square price by post time. The double is good.
Close to break. You want a new pen?
Broke my pen. I'm having a rough day.
Hugs are free.
We're going to talk McKinsey coming back. Probably still going to be your favorite, even though he's never won at 1.25 miles.
Coming on strong.
Minute to stardom. On top, coming down to the final 16th, opening up a 2-length lead.
My love for you.
Wild About Star, shining big here in Very One.
Oh, why did I wrong?
Testing 1, 2. The Star Guitar filly leads Champagne Diva close to home. It's testing 1, 2.
Feel my love for you. Coming on strong.
Go from Railbird to Winner's Circle. With My Racehorse, you have access to top horses and trainers, backside tours, exclusive ownership experiences, and fast payouts to your online account. With shares starting as little as $100, the Winner's Circle is waiting for you. Go to myracehorse.com or download the My Racehorse app today to join the thousands who have already started their journey as a racehorse owner.
I'm a firm believer you don't put the saddle on the pedigree. I bought him strictly because of his physique, his conformation. And then when you looked at the pedigree, it was the perfect blend. Run Happy was an incredible, incredible racehorse, being supported by Airdrie Stud, who raises an incredible animal. To breed one of their best mares to him speaks volumes. It ended up producing an incredible result in this horse, and we just hope he runs to his looks and his pedigree.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
Back on America's Day at the Races, our show brought to you in part by Run Happy. Raced his entire career medication-free. He never lost while sprinting, and this is his new home. Legendary stall number 1, Easy Goer, Secretariat, Bold Ruler, a few of the names that have formerly occupied that historic stall number 1. Now it's Run Happy's home. He stands for $25,000 at Claiborne. We're going to see his babies hitting the racetrack in 2020.
It's pretty cool looking at, we were looking earlier today at the number of Claiborne-bred horses that are running in the Breeders' Cup, right? It feels like about 8 of them, 8 or 9 that are running.
Yeah, there's
Pretty
quite
impressive.
a few. It's a nice little list.
It's not easy, you know? I mean, it's a lot harder than people realize, right? I mean, if they've got, what, about 6-7% of all the horses running, that's pretty strong for a farm when you consider how many places horses are bred. And a reasonable number of them probably bred in Europe, too.
Among them, Omaha Beach.
Yes.
Yeah.
How about that? Breeders' Cup Classic. Wide open race this year. McKinzie likely going to be your favorite, but his final prep coming into this race has left a whole lot of questions, getting beat at 1-5 at 1 1/8. Previously a distance where he had been so good. And again, he's not won at 1 1/4. So there's a lot of question marks.
I haven't gotten close to doing any real handicapping of this race. I've done some preliminary work looking at it. He just feels like a horse that could win this race, but you can't bet it at a relatively short price. The distance off his last race. Not that he ran badly last time, but do you really want to bet him off the race off a loss?
No, I don't. I mean, and I was the biggest McKenzie fan in the world. I really was. So I watched this race, and then, and when they took Mike off, I thought those were excuses. When I saw swishing tails, I don't love swishing tails. It's just not a good thing for me. It's telling me the horse does not like the whip, and he's gonna, when he gets challenged, he might give up the fight. And he gave up the fight against Mongolian Groom. Now he has Code of Honor and a couple others that are coming in town.
Vino Rosso.
Vino Rosso that are just as talented, maybe more talented.
Joel Rosario looking to win back-to-back classics.
Yeah.
Yeah. As for Vino Rosso, in that battle with Code of Honor in the Jockey Club Gold Cup, Vino Rosso would wind up getting taken down. Code of Honor moved up to the win via DQ. They are both coming, and they're both reportedly working and moving forward, working even better, moving forward out of this race.
You know, I always hope that horses going to Breeders' Cup races should be working well. They both can win. Vino Rosso has his best career effort out in California when he won their the old Hollywood Gold Cup. And Code of Honor, as you say, he's working great. He's getting better. He's growing up. Both are players.
Yeah, and here's Vino Rosso's work today, 48-2. He's going to complete outside. Just lets him float away from his mate. And
Noble Indy working with.
Yeah, and he asked him a tiny bit down the lane here and get him some fitness. You got to love this work. I like the way this horse is working. I've said this from the beginning. Is he talented enough to beat this group? I do not know, but I do know this. He can click off 24s or 24s, and if you leave him on the front end, he's going to be tough to go by.
Here's my concern with him. How reliable is he? I don't find him that reliable. His Whitney was not good. I think his good race is good enough to win. I just don't trust him to show up. No, he can win.
Well, love his last start. Love his start where he won a Grade 1 at Santa Anita and was at 1 1/4. Paul LaDuca told me, I have the lock of the year for you. It was in the Oklahoma Derby. It was Owendale.
Yeah, well, listen, the dead rail at Travers, if you actually paid attention to that, you made a lot of money. This horse ran a dynamic race, actually, in the Travers.
He
A
did.
better looked. I think he got popped by Endorse for, I think, 4th or 5th in the race.
And closer to the pace than he probably wanted to be
Yes,
as well.
and he was on the rail the whole way. I think Flo the jockey, Florent, had not been at Saratoga.
Saez would, no, he was trying to get off the rail,
couldn't get
and
off.
Saez would not let him off the
Yeah.
rail. I don't blame Giroux for that. He was trying to get off the rail.
But I
and
think
Saez
that
wouldn't
horse
let
has
him
got a real chance to maybe upset in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Now, Math Wizard.
He was right there, by the way, with Odell
Yeah.
in the Ohio Derby.
Yeah, he was.
Let me say 2 horses out of this race that are running are both Claiborne homebreds.
Yep.
On the other hand, I will fall out of my chair if either of these horses win.
He's another horse, though. You got another horse that was in for a
he was
claiming
on.
tag, right?
Yeah, I think this was
Coming
I
out
thought
of
this was an
the
ugly race.
biggest key race of the year, and it was a 16 maiden claiming race.
This
Wow,
was
Maximum security
this
race.
was the ugliest Grade 1 that we've run. I mean, War of Will just seems to have lost his good form. He had no excuse.
I think he's
Mr. Money had no excuse.
He's danced every dance.
Improbable
for a
had
while.
an excuse in this race, but he's got to stop getting left, and he could be a player in the Breeders' Cup Mile. But I don't think this race is going to have
A lot of
any
people
effect
saying
on the Breeders'
Probable's
Cup Classic.
working great right now.
Is he
Bob
gonna behave
Baffert is
himself?
saying, yeah, the best he's seen him in a long time.
Is he going to behave himself, though? And because he's his
It's a
own
big
worst
question.
enemy. If
Yeah.
he's not, it's interesting that he and Omaha Beach will be meeting in the mile, right? Because they were rivals earlier
Yeah.
in the year.
Yeah.
But he'll
course.
be a much bigger price here.
Yeah,
So.
Omaha Beach got him that day. He beat 2 Bafferts on the road to
I
the
think
Kentucky Derby.
a lot of wise guys are going to take a shot against Omaha Beach. Let's see what happens.
It's going to be a short price. I think 6 to 5 morning line favorite.
Really?
I think he's vulnerable. I think Improbable can win if he runs his race.
Yeah. Omaha Beach going to be fun to watch no matter what happens. He's some kind of horse.
Starting to like Owendale, too?
Ooh. Halloween is how many days away? 3?
Well, yeah, it's Thursday, 6 days away.
Oh,
Are
sorry.
you going as anybody
Next
this year?
Thursday. I'm going to try and make a trip.
I thought we were all going to go as One Direction.
I'm in. No, I'm in.
What's One
I am
Direction?
trying to make a trip. I'm going to try and go to
Their
Sleepy
band.
Hollow, Andy.
Yeah, the band.
Are you in? Sleepy Hollow trip? Monday or Tuesday?
You could be now.
You don't wanna go
already.
with
I gotta work in the Breeders' Cup races.
If you work nonstop and you don't live a little, you miss some things. Isn't that for Ferris
Gotta
Bueller?
tape. I'm taping 14 videos for all the Breeders'
Okay, we
Cup
can be
races
the Black
Thursday. I
Eyed
need to
Peas, and
prepare
we'll
for my
have Maggie
public.
can be Fergie, okay?
I won't be fooling around
Maggie,
with you
down
guys
to be
at Sleepy
Fergie
Hollow.
and be part of our group.
Oh, geez. You really caught me off guard there, Greg. The plane flew over. I couldn't hear you guys. All I heard was something about One Direction. I don't know if that's what you're... Oh, am I going to be 30? Fergie. Oh. I can't hear down here. The plane's so loud. Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. I'm not being pregnant. But number 4, Bound for Nowhere here, is they're on the walking ring. He's coming back off of a considerable, not a considerable layoff, but the layoff dating back to Royal Ascot. And you couldn't ask a horse to look any more fit, any more well-conditioned than what he does. And this is actually the first time I'm laying eyes on him up close and personal. It's the first time he's run at a NYRA track, and I'm impressed with what I see. This is a good-looking horse, and the fact that he's never won the 7 furlongs, well, that might be his most ideal distance, because obviously he's won going shorter, he's won out to a mile, but because he has that big body to him, I think, and plus the combination of the speed, the 7 furlongs might be the perfect storm in here. I like what I'm seeing from Bound for Nowhere. I didn't love him on form, but he's won me over a bit more here in the paddock. As number 8, Therapist, he gets back to, I think, what is his best distance. He's a smaller horse. He's run respectably well in those longer races against the New York breds and against some open company as well. And just a little small note, it doesn't have it in the form, but back in the West Point, he did wear front bandages. They were off last time. They're back on here today. Just a little food for thought. It really hasn't affected the way he's run, but I like this horse in this spot. And guys, I think that's why we're seeing him being bet and back the way he is. And were we discussing Halloween costume? What's going on up there?
We thought we could all go to the Breeders' Cup as a group. And Paul wanted to be One Direction. He wanted you to be Fergie, but I don't know if we could get Andy to get
I
involved
thought
either.
Fergie was in the Black Eyed Peas.
That's what I was saying. We could go as the Black Eyed Peas,
Oh.
and Maggie could be Fergie. That's
Oh,
what
there
I'm
you go.
saying. Yeah.
So Maggie apparently wasn't the only one confused.
I
Yeah.
veto
That was
this
a
one as
shock.
well.
You know what? You know what?
We're all
I'm
confused.
sorry. I'm just going to stay in the middle between you two guys and just let you guys go. Go ahead.
We heard Paul's
I'll be at
feelings.
Aqueduct.
No, you didn't hurt
With
my
Maggie.
feelings.
8. Are you guys surprised? 8-5 on Therapist?
Well, he's going to be 3-1 or 7-2 by post time.
No,
so
I realize that.
Am I surprised?
I think people are realizing he's a
early
player.
betting means nothing.
I think the numbers, and here's his race. What was this? This is this is where he got shot off. He got sawed off at the rail. No, he didn't. He was the source of the race when he
this is when he won. The rider was
exclusive
got
quality.
himself into trouble for no reason, and he ended up getting out and getting it done. He's meeting tougher horses, but this was his first start of the year. And Emmaus, who he beat, has proven to be a solid runner. That was, I believe, his first start in the country. And you're talking about a horse that's improved. And I think if you look at his races since then, they've all been at the wrong distance. And now he's finally getting to run at the right distance. And I just think he has to consider a player, but he's beating a couple of tough customers.
Well, I mean, look who he faced last time out. He faced Voodoo Song, who's obviously not what he was, but he's getting back to being close.
Yeah, that was a mile and an eighth. He's not a two-turn mile and eighth horse.
And how good has Dot Matrix become?
He's fine, but I'm going to tell you right now, how good has Made You Look when he runs this race? I thought his effort in the 4-Star Dave was absolutely terrific, and Bound to Nowhere is terrific. So yeah, those are good horses, but he's running. This is an allowance race with stakes horses in here.
Just with Bound for Nowhere, so you're coming back from Royal Ascot.
Okay.
There's question. He didn't show up in that race. There's been other races here in the States. He's not shown up on a good turf course, by the way.
He does have a win coming back off of Royal Ascot, though, right?
No, he does. I'm just saying the travel can do something to you. He's shown in the past he's not like good turf courses.
And as you say, he was horrifically bad at Ascot, while the time before he ran a super race finishing third. Who knows? He's a 5-year-old. Is he still as good as he was?
Yeah. Here's long shot, Sand Dancer, Tim Hills, Luis Saez.
Actually broke his maiden here at Belmont, though I think was the inner turf course. He's a pretty good runner, but he's in tough.
Another long shot. Axtell, Kevin Boniface, Junior Alvarado.
4 for 36 lifetime. Does have a win here over the Belmont turf course. And it seems like this 6-year-old by Tail of the Cat usually runs a pretty good one every time.
Bound for Nowhere, Wesley Ward, Jose Ortiz.
Really only one bad race on his resume, and that was in the Shadwell going a mile last year. I think this horse got a big, big shot.
2-1 on Major Look, multiple graded stakes winner, Chad Brown.
Yeah, Major Look, the other contender in here. 2 of the 4 wins here, and it's Chad. So I would think the other contender, and you got 3 2-1 shots now.
Vici, does he get to the front and try and take him gate to wire?
We'll see. I mean, he's got some early speed. I don't know if he's going to outrun Bound from Nowhere. We'll see if he tries to do that. He's just not a horse that likes to find the winner's circle. And, I just wonder.
Yeah. And Therapist. Christophe Clement, Irad Ortiz Jr. He's 2 for 2 at 7/8.
Yeah, and the win that we showed you is when he won the Elusive Quality. He's got to get back to that. Maybe that late punch and maybe cutting back in distance will help it.
We're 6 minutes away from our feature race coming up. Let's head downstairs, check in again with Maggie Wolfendale.
We get the rare appearance from Wesley Ward here in New York, graced with his presence, but Bound for Nowhere. And Wesley, he's been a really nice horse for you. And now in his 3rd start coming back off of the Ascot trip, previously in his year coming back from Europe, he's won off of that break. Are we expecting that today?
He's had, he's certainly had enough works to be fit. He's a little tough to gauge because he's kind of a lazy guy in the mornings. Ever since he started out, he's kind of been kind of lackadaisical in his works, but he's got ample works now, so he should definitely be fit enough.
Now, the 7 furlongs is a distance he has yet to try, but he's been successful on either end of the spectrum, from 6 furlongs and out to a mile. Do you feel as though that might be his kind of ideal distance?
Yeah, that's why I'm here. I scratched him out of an allowance race at his home track at Keeneland, going 5.5, and I just thought that's always been a little too short of a distance for him. He's kind of big, rangy guy, and to me, he should want to go further, and 7 furlongs should really hit him right on it.
Now, as far as speed is concerned, you have Vici towards your outside. He's successfully rated, though, in the past. Is that going to be the game plan?
Yeah, he's a really easygoing guy, and it's just up to Jose, who's a very patient rider, and he's on a roll right now. So if he rides him with confidence, this should be a great comeback spot. It's a tough field. The other few horses in here, are going to be very competitive. But if my guy was 100% fit and on his game, this would be something that he could certainly handle. So we'll see today.
He's faced some nice horses in the past. Wesley, best of luck here.
Thank you very much.
All right, Wesley Ward sending out Bound for Nowhere, guys. We'll see if he can do it again. 3 times that he's come back off that European trip to win. Greg?
this might be the gift of all gifts at 2-1.
Which,
yeah,
he's not going to be 2-1.
Yeah, Wesley doesn't do a lot of interviews. He doesn't come out here a lot. You look at this horse, and it's very rare to see Wesley out here. Now he gets Jose Ortiz aboard, and he's got a resume that goes back. This horse lost to Caravaggio, son of Scat Daddy, who's a monster runner over in Europe. I mean, if he runs his race, he's obviously the horse to beat. But made you look at some other horses in here, and you're going to give him a test. But
I think you have to question whether or not he's going to run his race. I think that's a real question mark here. This horse hasn't run since June. As you say, Greg, he didn't run well in there. He can win here, but I think he's got his hands full.
I agree. I think he's tough to trust. This is a look at the Shakertown, his Grade 2 win. He romped in here on a soft turf.
Yeah, I think this is actually this
He
is a
got beat
win
by
or
a
this
neck,
is losing
yeah.
when Imprimus beat him.
Yeah,
when
when Imprimus
Imprimus
beat him.
at this time was good. It was before he
Oh,
went
I'm
to
sorry, yeah,
Ascot
beat a
and
neck.
completely lost his form. They drowned the rest of the field, but that was a very good effort by him. I'm not going to knock it. He was flying up front. It's a terrific effort.
We know he loves, so yeah, the year before he'd won the Shakerdown, he loves Keeneland. We'll see off the bench. So he says, Wesley, he doesn't have to have the lead. Coming in fresh, working bullets with his kind of speed, don't you expect to see him forwardly placed?
I don't. I think that Jose Ortiz is an aggressive rider. He's got to go, and Vici wants to be aggressive with Joel. He can be in front of him, and Vici may be aggressive and clear him. But I don't see Jose Ortiz being that far off him, and frankly, I don't see Made You Look being that far behind those horses in there. I think he'll be sitting third and sitting relatively close. I can't imagine Javier wants to get away. He's got some speed. He'll be close.
I think Vici goes to the front. I mean, Wonderful Light, we're going to see in the Bull Ruler tomorrow. He's a very nice sprinter. He's going to try to stretch his speed out, but Vici's got to go to the front. And the problem with Vici is he's gotten beat by Alexandra, who's very, very good, Celtic Chaos, who's very, very good. He likes to give it up, but he's giving it up against some pretty good horses. But
He is, but he's running against some seriously good horses here. I mean, all of these things. The problem for therapists, I think, frankly, is that I think we're sort of hitting on it here without being significant, is that there isn't a ton of pace in here. And that's going to help Nowhere and going to help Made You Look and work a little against Therapist. Will they be moving it up front for him?
Well, it's dependent upon Vici, Bound for Nowhere, kind of battling in here to set it up for probably, right, Made You Look or for Therapist.
Yeah, and Made You Look's going to be more forward than Therapist. So Therapist, is he as good as the other two, and will they have a tactical advantage on him? And I, like you, think Therapist can win here, but tactically, the other two may be less compromised than he is.
Let's head downstairs, check in again with Maggie.
And two, it feels as though Made You Look and Bound for Nowhere, at least as far as company is concerned, and taking nothing away from those very talented New York breds, it feels as though they may have a little bit of a class edge over the New York bred Therapist. But taking a look at Made You Look as he emerges out of that Woodbine Mile, where we see the top three finishers heading to the Breeders' Cup Mile, he's a horse that, I don't know if you guys mentioned this, but has one going shorter. He actually broke his maiden going the 6 furlongs, and he is a horse that never really, I don't want to say he never really grew, but he never really blossomed totally physically. And he filled out and he's gotten stronger. He's gotten better, obviously speaking, but he just looks like a 7 furlong type of runner. And I don't blame Chad for keeping him at a mile. I think that was the right move, but this could be just even better for him. And I'm having a lot of trouble, guys, separating the top three in here. I could see any one of these three winning. Greg?
Oh, there's the focus of one of the best riders in the game, Jose Ortiz, riding in those black and gold silks of Wesley Ward, who Maggie talked to just a few moments ago. Graded stakes winner.
He's also jumping on the Brooklyn Nets bandwagon. I saw him at the game the other night.
Oh, that's right,
He
Jose.
wasn't there when they were, winning 25 games a year like I was, but I'm going to still let him on the bandwagon. So
okay.
So you have a Karis LeVert jersey. He has a
right, like Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving,
yeah.
right. I love Spencer Dinwiddie. I love him. Jared Allen.
All right, let's check in again with Maggie.
As you guys see, they're going to try to load Bound for Nowhere first year. He is historically, I actually remember my husband ran a horse against him in his second start of his career, Kiss the Toad, back at Keeneland, and he was the outside horse. We were the next horse in, and we were just standing there, and our horse just stood there watching this horse misbehave and completely missed the break, and Bound for Nowhere broke like a rocket ship out of there. But this is very, very typical So they have the halter and shank on him. Jose is going to get off here. This has been his MO from day one. And so now that they know this, they don't have to hold up a field that's already in the gate. So they'll work on him, get him in first, and then hopefully the rest of the field cooperates and they can get them in without having to wait too long. Greg?
All right, Maggie, thanks. Meanwhile, this is still our favorite.
Yeah, I'm not shocked that he's favored in here. And I think it's interesting that he's favored right now, and it may change by post time because there's, the late money matters. But I think the feeling is you just don't trust Bound for Nowhere. I think that's what the board is telling you right now. Right now, and these odds can change. I mean, it's very possible that Therapist will be 3-1 or 7-2. We've seen this happen with the late money. But right now, the board is saying to you, we don't trust Bound for Nowhere.
Yeah, I guess so.
That doesn't mean he's not going to win. I'm saying that because he is the best horse. He and Major Look are supposed to be shorter than Therapist significantly.
Yeah.
On paper.
Yeah.
I'm saying Therapist can't win. I'm just saying from the odds.
You make a good point there because a lot of people will say when you look at a form, you see a lot of grade 1s and grade 2s on the 4. And so people will attract to that. And the horse is 5 for 11 lifetime, and I think they're going to back him up and blindfold him in.
Well, it's a good thing they gave us extra time today.
Well, it's amazing what effect that blindfold has on these horses and really calms them down quite a bit, gets them into the gate, and it worked here for Bound for Nowhere.
Yeah, and probably the best gate trainer maybe ever, Wesley Ward. He's phenomenal, and he's very tedious to getting his horses out of the gate, so obviously he probably told his crew, hey, we got to blindfold him and get him in because usually they show a ton of speed out of the gate.
Yeah, it's amazing. Despite all these problems, he has loading. Yeah, he doesn't have problems breaking when those gates open.
No. And we see this a lot. I mean, how many times in the show we have horses that don't want to go in, big things behind, they open the gate, they go right to the front. Yeah. And they've run well.
But, I mean, sometimes you do see horses that are stubborn, act up, they don't get out well.
Yeah, but often, as Maggie's pointing out, this is not something that doesn't happen frequently, so it's not out of the ordinary.
Exactly.
I don't think you expect him to do what he was going to do.
So it's Made You Look. Chad Brown, Javier Castellano, the 6, son of More Than Ready, who's the 8-5 favorite.
Wow.
We send it upstairs, our feature race. Here's the call from Larry Colmus.
They're all in line. They're off. Axtell goes out to the early lead, Bound for Nowhere, who look like bobbled at the start, is going up and challenging now, and it's these two out for the front with Sand Dancer away running in third, 2.5 lengths behind them, and then Vici and Therapist. The trailer is Made You Look as they head up the backstretch. And it is Axtell in front, Bound for Nowhere, a length back on the outside, running in second position up the backstretch, and then it's Sand Dancer third near the rail. They're followed by Vici on the outside in fourth, and then it's Made You Look, and the trailer is Therapist through a 22.8 opening quarter mile as Axtell leads the way around the far turn, Bound for Nowhere, edging up on the outside in second, now cuts the gap to a neck. And then it's Sand Dancer on the inside of Vici, Made You Look behind them, and Therapist is still trailing this field and racing about 7 lengths behind as they come to the top of the stretch. Bound for Nowhere takes over the lead as they turn for home. Axtell is second, Vici is third. Made You Look moving on the outside. Still work to do for Therapist, who's closing down the middle, but 5 lengths to make up in the final furlong. Bound for Nowhere, the one to catch, has a 3-length lead on Made You Look. Then Therapist on the outside of Vici, who's down toward the rail. It's Bound for Nowhere. Bound for Nowhere bounds away by 4.5 lengths on the wire. Made You Look was second. Vici held off Therapist for third.
121-4, Bound for Nowhere. Took to the 7 furlongs just fine. And wow, the horses who got to the front, not what we expected in here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the game plan was, Vici, but maybe they got third, so he outperformed it by not even being anywhere near the lead. I'm surprised Made You Look was as far back as he was. He probably wasn't beating Bound for Nowhere anywhere. But once we saw 22.8 for the first quarter, Bound for Nowhere was about a 1-5 shot in here.
No, he really was. You even said he's a cinch. And then we both looked and said, you know what, the 6 is running. And the 6 did run. And when you can't run into a pace, I mean, 45-2 is like 47 for any other horse. This horse is just so talented. The 6 ran a winning race. I mean, you can't beat this horse. And Wesley Ward showed up in New York for a reason.
And the late money showed, right?
Yeah.
3-2 gets the job done. WW into the winner's circle. Keep your eyes post 4. That's your eventual winner. And see how he got out of the gate. Ooh, goes to his knees.
He did, but it didn't cost him much. He got right
got-
there.
got
And, once again,
athletic,
when they all go so slowly early, Major Look didn't break sharply either, by the way. When nobody goes early, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
He ran well. I don't want to knock him. He really ran well, but he had everything his own way.
He's still a horse, and he's a grade 2 winner. So I would think Wesley's trying to get that grade 1. I wonder where he's looking with him next, especially being a 5-year-old.
Inching ever closer to $1 million in earnings, this horse.
It's crazy how great of a turf sire the Factor's been, huh?
It's incredible.
Yeah.
He runs twice a year, and he's won almost $1 million.
Right?
It's incredible. All smiles for Wesley. Bound for Nowhere wins our feature. Prices set up the nightcap when we come back.
That's rushing ball, and she's too good. She wins the Longines Just a Game.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. Use promo code TRYRTN for a 5-day free trial.
Eclipse champion Blaine was considered by many as the breakout stallion of 2018. His top runners included Grade 1 winner and Eclipse Award finalist Marley's Freedom, plus Grade 1 winner Fault, and graded stakes winners Moreau, Beyond Blaine, Miss Kentucky, and Blaine. This year, his 2-year-olds have sold up to $700,000. Outstanding results, outstanding value. Blaine, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Thanks for joining us here on America's Day at the races. Bound for Nowhere. He was bound for the winner's circle. As got a little ahead of myself, saying that he would win 3 times after coming back off the Europe trips, and it was only 2, but now he's made it 3. And I'm joined here again by trainer Wesley Ward and son Riley, getting a little time, father-son time, as Riley's come up from Miami.
Yeah, it was a great day today. Yeah, he got out of the University of Miami. We put him right on the plane, and can't beat it.
Absolutely. And Bound for Nowhere, I mean, I think, Wesley, you couldn't have drawn up a better scenario out there.
It just worked out great. I've always thought this guy is going to be 7/8 or a miler, and it was a little questionable today because he's so lackadaisical in his morning workouts, but he put it all together today, and proud of him.
Wesley, we saw him at the gate. That's always been an issue for him.
Yeah, he's that's in the mornings. The Keeneland Gate Crew's just done a tremendous job with him, and he was really good. Going into this race, but new place, new surroundings, and I think he knew this was a big day and this was his day, and the antics came back. But fortunate enough that the gate crew here did a good job, and they had the other horses back there, so we didn't interfere with their races, and it all worked out well.
He likes the attention, we'll say that. As we do head out to California, and you're actually running 3 in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint, and obviously 4-wheel drive is the one who prepped for that mostly, or his last race here in the Futurity. He was really impressive considering that was only his 2nd start, Wesley.
Yeah, he's a really quality colt, Hats off to Coolmore that they've been so supportive of me throughout my career, and to have an American Pharoah, going to the Breeders' Cup for them, and including the owners, of course. But I'm just happy that it can all come together.
Also sending out Kamari.
Yeah, she's been a quality filly. Just only beaten once at Royal Ascot, and she was the only one of all of them that I brought over that handled the soft going. She won a beautiful race with Mike Smith. And Cambria I have for Barbara Banke. And all 3 really won't compromise each other's chances. The colt will be up there in the forefront, and Kamari will probably be in the middle, and Cambria will come from behind. So
I'm rooting for all of them.
It works out well, and you obviously dominate that division year after year. So, Wesley, best of luck out there. Congratulations, too. Good to see Bound for Nowhere back at the races and in the winner's circle.
Thank you very much.
All right, Wesley Ward, it was good to catch up with him here today, and he goes home a winner, Greg.
Yes, he does. He takes the feature, and this has been a money machine for him, Bound for Nowhere.
He really has. What he's done, first of all, what he's done at Ascot is amazing. Because he's really the first
he changed the
one.
game.
Yeah, he's the first person that went over there, and I remember thinking it's ridiculous going over there, and I couldn't have been more wrong. I was ridiculous because he really understood that his 2-year-olds had speed and they were ready to go, and those horses over there are just not trained for that kind of speed in those sprints. And what does he have, 10 wins or something over there?
More than that, I believe.
It's
11.
remarkable, and a lot of other people, unfortunately for them, have gone over there and not done well. Tepin, pretty much the exception. But what Wesley's done there is nothing short of remarkable.
Here's a look at the Empire 6 follow-along, $350,000 in the pool. We got one race still to come, and there is no unique ticket, so we're going to carry to Saturday. Sunday's a mandatory payout, but we have a good race coming up before we say goodbye today.
We got a phenomenal betting board here.
9th at Belmont, 6 furlongs, inner turf, and a New York bred $40,000 maiden claiming race. Clamor right now, the one, is your 9-2 favorite. Who was 10-1 morning line, and definitely interesting. First time out, got bet at Gulfstream back in February, lost footing, kind of taken up early, and started running late in that race. So we don't really know what you're getting with Clamor. Definitely could have some talent.
I guess I got to use him with my bombs there.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I thought the 6 Silver Token would end up being your solid choice, and I guess is tiny better than 9.
I picked Solid Token thinking he'd be 10-12 to 1 here, and you thought he'd be favored, and you're
Silver
closer
Token?
right than I am. I picked the 6 thinking he'd be a big long shot. I would have picked the 5 Sporting Art, who I think gets a very good cutback in distance. Christophe Klein has great numbers cutting back to 6 furlongs, but you're right that he is one of the favorites, the 6 Silver Token. I'm with Greg. I thought he'd be a big price.
You don't like Silver Token?
No, actually, I do like that start. I don't think
favored.
deserved to be favored in here by any stretch. But yeah, I was very green. Dropped back to last early on in that turf start, and then I think just didn't like being on the inside.
No, did not
And
at
then
all.
actually did start to run a little bit, extremely wide around the turn.
In a track in a race where nobody really closed. Thought he ran well in there. I just didn't think he'd be a
That's
short
blinkers,
price.
by the way. That's not listed in the form.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of horses that can win. Obviously, you guys are talking the 1, Hudson Overpass, the 3 can win, the 5 can win, the 6 can win. I don't get the 9, the 10 can win, the 11
Beachfront, I think, is
can
coming
win.
out of the 9. I think is coming out of the toughest race of anybody.
Yeah, I don't like him as a horse, but obviously a lot of people disagree.
Breeders' Cup Sprint, it is loaded with star power and maybe the most intriguing race of all of championship weekend with the likes of Chancelot, maybe, well, certainly a horse who's in contention for Horse of the Year with Matoli, Imperial Hint, the Little Rocket, but Chancelot, his Amsterdam, best buyer figure in the history of those numbers for a 3-year-old in that Amsterdam win, and just barely missed against Omaha Beach.
And I'm not, he ran well in there. He didn't get the best of rides in the Jerkins, down the inside, not the place to be. He obviously hasn't come close to his super effort in the Amsterdam, but it's not going to hurt getting Jose Ortiz, and I think he's a threat to blast off and wire the field as good as this field is.
You make a good point because of Jose Ortiz. He's not really a send guy. He always leaves a little bit left, and if Chancelot's able to break away from this group early, he might be tough. And I think he might get. He might be an overlay. I think if people are going to try to beat him, thinking, okay, Matoli and the other Little Rocket are way better than him. Imperial Hint, he might get dismissed.
Well, Matoli, he's got a chance to be your Horse of the Year if he can close with a win. His last performance, Grade 1 win in the Forego.
I believe that if both he and Brixton Moore win, that Brixton Moore will be Horse of the Year over him. If one wins and the other doesn't, then that horse will be Horse of the Year. It's open if they both lose.
I think Midnight Bisou's in the mix.
Yeah, I think she's third. But I don't know how you take a horse that's never run out of her sex group. She's supposed to run against boys if she wants to be Horse of the Year. Now, I know it's an odd year, so maybe she has a chance, but I think what Matoli's done this year has been sensational.
You can see this is Matoli and the work. And what you got to love about the work is they really rushed him out of the gate to make sure, hey, listen, you are not getting left. Last year, that was his hiccup. He couldn't get out of the gate, and he got put behind the 8 ball, and then he had to really run. So they made sure he got out of the gate in the morning, and he just strolled home.
He's been incredible every single step of the way all year long, with the exception of that bad rail, Saratoga, which was kind of confirmed, being drawn inside as well. So without that race, I mean, every single time he has shown up and run lights out.
And he won one of the biggest races of the year, the Met Mile. That and the Whitney, the two biggest races of the year. And he beat McKenzie in there. He's won from 6 furlongs to a mile. He's a sensational racehorse who's had a great year.
We're saying goodbye to you.
Bye.
And we're also saying goodbye to MSG Plus. We're back 4 Eastern tomorrow, MSG Plus, Fox Sports 2. We're sticking around, Paulie and I and Maggie.
Warfront. This son of Danzig ranks among the world's elite sires. With Grade 1 winners on dirt and turf, and star performers both at home and abroad, Warfront's success as an international super sire is unmatched. Recent Grade 1 winners include Omaha Beach and Preakness Stakes hero War of Will. In the sales ring, his $2.4 million sale topper at Keeneland September was the highest price yearling sold in North America last year. Warfront, standing at Claiborne Farm.
It's been home to some of the sport's biggest moments, monumental achievements, and extraordinary records. At Santa Anita, we'll set another before the first gate even opens, as the Breeders' Cup returns for a record 10th time. This November, the stars will shine. Champions will be crowned. And when the unbelievable happens, you'll want to be there to see it. The Breeders' Cup World Championships.
Run Happy is simply super. He polishes off an outstanding campaign with a dominant victory in the Malibu.
No medication, no problem. Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
It only takes 20 cents to take down an Empire. The Empire 6 is the jackpot 20-cent pick 6 bet that's offered every day at Belmont Park. One unique winning ticket earns the entire net pool, plus the jackpot carryover. Without a unique ticket, 75% is distributed to winners with 25% added to the jackpot. Win big with the Empire 6. Next mandatory payout date, Sunday, October 27th. Visit nyra.com/Empire6 for complete details.
Back on America's Day at the Races on Fox Sports 2. Greg Wolf, Paula Duca, Maggie Wolfendale.
Hi,
We're going to
Greg.
bring you the finale here coming up. How you doing?
Doing well.
I like this last race. There are a lot of ways to go in this betting board. Tremendous. Tells you how wide open it is. Clamors 4-1, who's kind of an X-Factor horse. We don't know what we're going to get with him because we didn't see a lot of running from him first time out. He kind of lost his footing at the beginning. He got taken up and then all of a sudden started to run. That was all the way back in February at Gulfstream.
Yeah, and now they've gelded him since then. He's a son of Trap Shot, a successful appeal mare, and Castellano gets aboard. Jose Ortiz was aboard first time out, so he must have been working well in the morning because in that race, it was only a 5-horse field, though. He was a little bit under 4-1, so he was third choice that day. This is such a weird race because the 9 and the 11 and the 4 are the horses that are all getting bet in the exotics, but you're getting great prices on the win end.
There's so many horses at prices that I like in this race. Let's head downstairs, get a paddock report from Maggie.
And guys, this is the grab bag, I would suppose, of races as we'll begin with number 1, Clamor, the horse you guys are talking about. It's pretty interesting in here. It's really tough when you don't get off that well or have trouble in a 5-furlong sprint at Gulfstream because you blink and the race is over if you're not on the front end or close to it. You really are limited in getting any piece of the action. So this horse, though, does look like a total turf sprinter. I mean, he's more compact. He's a little smaller in stature as far as height, but he's broad, very, very stocky. And I do think the 6 furlongs is A-okay. Now he's in against New York Breds. He's a gelding. He looks pretty fit here. I mean, I'd have to say he's probably 90% there as a gelding now this time around. But you know, sometimes they just have to be doing well. They don't have to be 100% fit to get the job done off the bench, and he looks as though he is. Moving on to number 5, Sporting Art. Another one off a little bit of a layoff for Christophe Clement, but I've always thought that this guy would be more of a sprinter, as this is the first time he's going to try it. He's sharp coming back. He's very fit. And like I said, because he is so compact, I think he could be very effective at this 6 furlong distance. Number 6 is Silver Token, second off of a layoff for Linda Rice. I think he makes sense here just because he got that Titan under his belt at Saratoga. Hopefully he breaks a little bit better than he did, weirdly, because he's acting very professional here, and I think that's a good sign. Although he was very relaxed going back to his previous start, he just looks more solid, more defined, just a fitter horse overall. So Silver Token, I think, makes sense here. As number 11 is Plebe, make first start for trainer Bruce Levine off another layoff. And while he looks fit, and he is calm, he's gotten a bit hot, and for me, that is the #1 indicator of a horse just not being totally ready off a bit of a layoff. So he has the races that make him very competitive here. I'm not so sure about it here as those front bandages stay on and he gets the drop in class, Greg.
Maggie, thanks. There he is. Yeah, for Two Tone Farms, dropping in for a tag for the first time, but signs that Maggie does not like to see with the 11 Plebe and 10-1 on the board, as this is a tremendous race to play some exotics here coming up. Your favorite, as you see, a very mild 4-1 in here. So many different ways to go in this spot, and you like the 6. Plebe dropping, facing Maiden Claiming for the first time. We're going to take a look in a moment. We have our post parade coming up at Hudson Overpass. The 3 at 8-1. This horse dropping as well. I know has been at this level before, but this horse coming out of a race where we just saw Sean BC run a very good second in a State Bred Maiden Special. Yeah. Worth a shot, come back to win against State Bred Maiden Special by 5+ lengths. And we'll talk more about him in a moment. Yeah. Absolutely, with Luis Saez aboard for Bruce Grossman. We'll take a look at that race in a moment as we take a look at the current favorite, Clamor, at 7-2.
And you're wondering if it's real money or not. This gelding's about 7th or 8th choice, 6th or 7th choice, somewhere in there in the exotic. So I'm thinking this horse is going to come up, but money continues to come in.
20-1, Kid Chocolate for Gary Siaka.
This is a really tough horse to endorse. Gary put blinkers on 2 starts ago to try to wake up the son of Looking Unlucky, and it just really hasn't changed his running style. Long shot here.
Hudson Overpass, here he is. Could be out in front here with Luis Saez. Definitely going to be forwardly placed.
Yeah, you make a good point, Greg, because his last race for 40, when Louis rode him, he was 6.5-1 at Saratoga, and he almost got the job done there running a good second.
Exchange Fever, George Weaver just missed by a nose in that was a pretty good Laurel race. Before that was in the mix at Saratoga as well.
Yeah, a maiden, State Bred Maiden 40 race to an open race, being a New York bred at Laurel's probably an even, I guess you would say, a lateral move, and the horse ran a good second-place finish in both spots.
This horse took the blinkers off last start, now cuts back in distance.
Declan Carroll has been a little unlucky so far riding here in New York with a couple of really good seconds. He's going to be a long-shot rider down the road.
Silver Token, Linda Rice, blinkers go on. That's not listed in the form.
No, not listed in the form, and this is Linda's game. She is very, very good second time at something, and this is horse's second time on the turf.
Appointment, 25-1, also first in for a tag.
The first race for this horse on the turf was not bad, got dead left, and then they tried to go to the front end going long. This horse might love coming from way out of it. Do not dismiss the 7.
Jet for Serling, 36-1.
I'll just leave that at 1. Out of Glass Tip Stables, they bred that one.
Beachfront, I thought a big player coming out of the toughest race of anybody in the field.
I think so too. It was 26-1. That was a loaded field. Lee Guitar, the other field, 2 back at Saratoga, was a good field. They ran 101 flat, 2 starts back against them.
This one a little intriguing as well. David Dunk, Eric Consell, and has some races at this level that put him right in the mix.
Yeah, listen, he's got a race at 37-1 where he almost shocked the field. And look for the same kind of running style, running from behind the pace.
First time in for a tag for this one. Plebe, Kendrick Carmouche should be forwardly placed.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if just because Bruce Levine's been a little cold, even though his barn's starting to heat up, why this horse is sort of getting dismissed at the window.
And Captain Courageous, double-digit odds on the outside as well for Jorge Abreu. Missed by 3 parts of a length at this level, September 15th.
It's a colt that's improved every start, and the odds have gone up every start, except today, 10-1, and I think that's a square price.
All right, we're 4 minutes to post. What do you think he's going to be for Halloween?
I don't know, but he must have borrowed Andy's binky. I had to take Andy would even like that one.
Oh, Andy's going to love that one when he hears it tomorrow. Maybe he's listening right now on his ride home.
He probably is.
Hudson Overpass. So here's the 3. So Luis Saez on board. You got to figure this horse is going to be aggressive. I mentioned that start last time. We're taking a look 2 back, but the last start was against Better. This was against Valmont.
Yes.
Who Valmont would win at a big price that day. And the horse who was 3rd in here would come back to win 2 straight on synthetic out of this race. And I'm Elmer J. Fudd would come out of the win. He ran 4th in here.
Yeah, I thought this was a good. You see Louis at the end, he knew he couldn't get past Valmont. And then they tried to stretch out thinking, okay, let's use his speed. They went very fast in the second part of that race. I mean, excuse me, last time out. And 45 and change, 108 and change. He ran 102. He might have just ran his heart out, and then they wheeled him back. Now he's had a little bit of time. I'm with you. I think the 3's got a giant shot in here at 10-1. And I guess the 1 is not fake money. This horse is sticking right here at 7-2.
No question. All right, let's check in again with Maggie.
I've never seen a race, I should say I've seen races like this where, I mean, you can make a case for so many horses. They all kind of look the same on paper. I can't fault anybody for taking 7-2 on Clamor. He feels like the wise guy horse that a lot of people are wise guys today as he's the favorite. But let's talk about some others. And number 3, Hudson Overpass, win in this condition at this spot. He's run well. And he really warmed up beautifully. I mean, he probably got the grade A as far as warm-ups were concerned. So I like that. We'll see. I mean, this is the right spot for him to win. We'll see if he could finally do it. As we'll also take a look at number 7, Appointment. I like what Paul said about this horse. As the last time I laid eyes on him was during those 2 June races. I did not like the way he looked at all. I thought he looked light. His coat didn't look great. And now, second off that little bit of a break and also making this first start back here at Belmont, looks way better. I mean, this is a horse that is a turf horse. I like the fact that we're getting back to the turf here. And he just feels like a horse that's doing better than what he was in those 2 previous turf efforts. And then finally, by power of me just, I don't know, just liking this horse probably the best of any of them, looking at him physically. Going to go with number 9, the other drop in class here for Jeremiah Englehart. He's kind of run consistently the same race. We'll see if turning back, though, from a mile to the 6 furlongs does the trick. I can't say anything negatively in that respect about him physically because he looks as though he'll handle this 6 again. Like I said, guys, this is a tough one to figure out. And what's going on up there? Andy deserted you all?
He left as I think he needed to go get his Halloween costume.
He did?
Yeah, he needed to go pick it up.
Oh, okay. He was going to shave his head and become Uncle Fester?
What are you going to be, by the way?
You know, I've been deciding between Superman, Spider-Man, somebody like that. Heroic. I like to be heroic on Halloween. I like kids to see me and come to my door and knowing they're not just going to get a half of a chunky bar. They're going to get a whole.
You give out full
Rocky
candy
Road.
bars?
Yes.
You're
that's supposed to be done.
Wow. So you must get a lot of people coming by.
Yeah, they start
because we
coming.
knew where those houses were growing up.
Then
when I was
after a
kid.
while, I start kicking him in the butt and tell him to get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This horse is still your favorite. Wow.
Remember the days when you used to be in a pickup truck and you used to go out of the pickup truck? If that happened now, you'd all get arrested.
And we didn't do that.
Right? We did in Arizona. We used to have like 8 kids in the back of the pickup truck. Go out and get candy. Go out and get candy. Now, if you did that, it wouldn't be a good scene.
Clamor favored, wide open finale here on our Friday night cap. A lot of ways to go, but you and Andy like the 6 silver token. I definitely think we're going to see improvement. I just don't think that he liked at all being down on the inside from the rail that last start.
He backed out of it. We'll see what happens today. Now the 4 is your favorite at 7-2. But we got about 5 horses between 5-1, 9-2, 7-2. So just such a great betting board. Good luck.
We send it upstairs. Very interesting finale here. Here's the voice of horse racing's Triple Crown for the call, Larry Colmus.
Plebe has moved into the starting gate. Here is Sporting Art heading up to line, and that'll leave Silver Token and Captain Courageous to complete this wide open field. As the favorite now is Beachfront at odds of 3-1. Here comes the gray silver token into the starting gate. And now Captain Courageous to the far outside stall. They're all in line. Captain Courageous is backed out. Ready for the start. They're off. Hudson Overpass. Out quickly for the lead. Exchange Fever goes right with them. And then it's Sporting Art to the outside. It's these three with early speed. And right there to Appointment and Jet for Andy on the outside. And then it's Clamor in behind the leaders, 4 lengths behind in the early stages. Plebe is right alongside of Clamor. A length and a half back to Kid Chocolate on the inside of Silver Token. Outside of them comes Beachfront. And then it's No More Miracles in Captain Courageous. Hudson Overpass goes 22.28 for this first quarter. Leads the way into the far turn just a half a length. And then in second position is Exchange Fever. Sporting Art is right up there too. Appointment is 4 wide on the far turn. Jet for Andy follows in 5th position. Plebe gives way 6th on the inside. Beachfront is closing 3 wide from 7th, and then comes Clamor. And they're into the stretch. 45.86 was the half mile. Hudson Overpass alongside of Exchange Fever and Sporting Art. And the 3 of them come into the final furlong. Beachfront 4th trying to go with them. It's Hudson Overpass, Exchange Fever, and Sporting Art across the track. And Beachfront closing on the outside from far behind Silver Token too. But here comes Beachfront. Beachfront storms to the front. Silver Token storms into second. And then it was Hudson Overpass, Sporting Art, and Exchange Fever.
Beachfront with the win. We talked about this horse coming out of probably the toughest race of anybody in this field. Gets the job done, Jose Ortiz.
Yeah, we talked about how wide open of a race it is, and it ends up being your favorite over your second choice. And they started rolling down the center of the lane. We were rooting for the 3 here on the set. Louis really did a good job getting Hudson Overpass to the front end. Now everybody starts chasing. You're looking at the 5 Sporting Art. I keep telling you, Declan Carroll, he's going to bring home a long shot here sooner or later. And then the 4 Exchange Fever, they're chasing, but they're hanging. They're not going by. And here comes the 2 best horses in the race, the 6 and the 9. And the 9 just had a great trip, and it was a great ride, obviously, by Jose Ortiz. And you can see Lascano was right behind him, and he had a ton of horse too. Just the 9 and the 6 were just, they almost moved in synchrony, the same stride. Just the 9 got first jump.
9, 6 looked like the 3 held on for third in here. Luis Saez gave that horse a good ride, did everything he could.
No, he did. He tried to steal the race. And he got away with a good second fraction, 23 and change, Greg. What could you do? I mean, he just got run down.
Beachfront, first time in for a tag. Jeremiah Engelhardt, Spa City Stables, and the son of Smart Bid gets the job done with Jose Ortiz. Back with prices to wrap up our finale right after this. Stick with us on America's Day at the Races.
I think the bonus is really interesting. Mr. McInvale, as usual, is thinking outside the box, doing a wonderful job promoting his horse. Buyers will really appreciate having an opportunity like that to come back and run their horses at these top tracks and earn that bonus.
It's a wonderful incentive both for people in the market and people that own these horses. And I mean, what a great bonus it would be for anybody that wins. I think it's wonderful.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
It only takes 20 cents to take down an Empire. The Empire 6 is the jackpot 20-cent pick 6 bet that's offered every day at Belmont Park. One unique winning ticket earns the entire net pool, plus the jackpot carryover. Without a unique ticket, 75% is distributed to winners with 25% added to the jackpot. Win big with the Empire 6. Next mandatory payout date, Sunday, October 27th. Visit nyra.com/Empire6 for complete details.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
The nightcap, as it's almost night here at Belmont Park here on America's Day at the Races goes to Beachfront. Jose Ortiz aboard for his third win of the afternoon, including the late double. And Jose, perfectly timed ride on the turf.
Yeah, he broke good and he settled nice and he made a good move by the 3 pole. So I went to the clear. I didn't want to be a hero and get into trouble. I lose a little bit of ground, but I knew the horse I had to be was behind me following.
It's always a good feeling when you have him behind you. As Bound for Nowhere in the previous race, he made it look easy.
Yeah, it's a nice horse. First time I ride it, broke good. I stumbled a bit at the start. He recovered very fast and he put himself into a winning position early. And when I whip him left-handed, he really leveled out and gave me a great run the last 3/16 of a mile.
Now, Jose, the talk on the show has been the Breeders' Cup, as you will head out there with many live mounts, searching for your third Breeders' Cup win. Who do you like most?
Well, I really have very good shots, but Maxfield stand out a bit. It's a very good race with 8 Rings and Dennis's Moment. So I think it's gonna be good, but I have a really good shot to win the race. I mean, I have several others that I like, but if we start talking about it, we never end. So.
That's true, but I'm glad you said Maxfield because I like him a lot. What did you see from his work this morning? It was in the darkness at Keeneland, but wow.
He looked amazing. He's a very nice horse, and I'm glad he's doing really good. He got Brendan taking care of him. I think he's a great trainer, up and coming. I think he's gonna be great, and I mean, I know he's gonna get him ready for the race.
Jose, we're on the same page there. Best of luck out in California. Congratulations here on a nice day at Belmont, too.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, Jose Ortiz. I like when the jockey and I are thinking the same thing, guys, because I know Dennis's Moment and 8 Rings are going to be really tough, but Maxfield, man, I loved everything I've seen from him.
That Juvenile is going to be so much fun because those two, Dennis's Moment, 8 Rings, are going to take all the money in that race. Maxfield's probably a distant third of the big 3 in that group.
Yeah, and the other part about it is you got one trainer, obviously, with 8 Rings, and Bob Baffert. He's going to get back because it's in his backyard. As you see the prices and the carryover in the Empire, $229,000. Again, the mandatory payoff will be on Sunday. So you have Bob Baffert with Dennis's Moment, obviously. With 8 Rings, he's going to get a lot of money. And then you have Dale Romans with Dennis's Moment that will tout that horse to a 7-Eleven clerk. So that horse is going to get a bet. So you're going to look at, and I'm with Maggie and I'm with Jose, that you're going to get a great price on the Brendan Walsh runner. A great price.
Yeah, Maxfield. So Jose will ride there. Of course, he's going to ride a late against the boys in the Classic, so that means she's not going to try and tackle Midnight Bijou again in the distaff. But as for the Juvenile,
there it is.
Here's the one we've been talking about here. And so Dennis's Moment right now, if you had to pick between those two, Dennis's Moment, 8 Rings, who do you choose?
I think you choose Dennis's Moment, and you don't forget about 8 Rings, obviously, and you don't forget. I think this is 4 horses you don't forget about. You either have to single Dennis's Moment in this spot, take a shot, beat Bob Baffert. But if you're going to go deep in this field, do not leave Scabbard out of the race. Because if Scabbard does not get any trouble, he is right on Dennis's Moment. Scabbard is right behind him in third right now, if I'm not mistaken. And he sort of re-rallies after he had some trouble. I'm sorry, he's in third on the outside. You can see him start running on here late. Now, I understand Dennis's Moment was in shutdown mode, and his ears are up the whole 9 yards. But you cannot tell me that Scabbard is not moving right there at the end of that race. So another quality horse. I think that's going to be your 4th choice behind Maxfield. So if you want to go deep, it's going to be those horses. But I just think Dennis's Moment is a little better than 8 Rings.
He ran so massive. And it was the second start of his career, but the first time he finished racing with a jockey, talking about Dennis's Moment.
Yeah.
It's concerned you move backwards a little bit in that third start?
A tiny bit. It can be.
Meanwhile, here's 8 Rings for Baffert. He, too, like Dennis's Moment, lost his rider in a race. Second start of his career, but then he came back and did this.
Yeah, and when you let a Bob Baffert runner go 6 furlongs and 111 and change, they just don't stop. They're a lot like Chad Brown horses. If they stop in the middle of the lane, they are not that much quality because it just doesn't happen. I'm a little worried about him is that 138 is, don't worry about the time because the track has been playing slow. He'll be fit. He was wandering around a little bit. He's still a tiny bit green. He cannot make any mistakes in this race in the first Saturday in November.
Meanwhile, in the distaff, now we'll get to Midnight Bisou in trying to complete that perfect season. She has just had a campaign you don't see often in this game. Trying to complete a perfect 8-for-8 year. She's danced every big dance. She's in the mix for your horse of the year.
No, she is. She most definitely is. It's good to see Paradise Woods now in the John Sheriff's Bond. She won the Zenyatta back on the trail. I truly feel maybe Dunbar Road can turn it around a tiny bit, but it's Midnight Bisou, and for me, it really is Street Band, the Larry Jones runner, and I'm happy to see that Sophie Doyle will be aboard. That horse ran giant in the Cotillion, so I think it's between those two horses. Midnight Bisou, obviously, a horse that's run at Santa Anita too as well.
And there's Midnight Bisou. Are you concerned? I mean, to do what she's done starting January 27th, running 7 graded stakes races, the majority of them grade 1s, win them all, have to run as hard as she did in all those races, potentially could it catch up to her here?
Well, it's always going to try potentially catch up to a horse, and everybody will say, oh, it caught up to Zenyatta. Well, she lost to Blame, and she was like 28 lengths behind Blame and almost ran him down. So
and in front of him right past the wire.
Exactly. and then you look at a horse like Midnight Bisou, and there you want to knock, and you want to knock. And then last time, we watched her go by a late when everybody was like, oh, a late's a way better mile and a quarter horse. There's no way Midnight Bisou can go by her. I'm sorry. Some horses just know how to win races. And for me, she's not losing. She's my single.
It's going to be so much fun. If she wins out, Matoli wins out, Bricks and Mortar wins out, who do you give horse of the year to?
Oof. I'd probably give it to Bricks and Mortar.
Yeah.
Probably would. But Midnight Bisou, wow, that'd be a tough beat. But Street Band, I truly feel if she's going to get beat, it's going to be Street Band. I think Street Band is the best, second best filly in this race by far.
Let's take a look at Street Band in the Cotillion.
I think she's just like peaking at the right time. She made that great race, a great run at Saratoga. But this race right here, she's running over horses, Greg. Look at Sophie. Sophie doesn't even know what to do. Now, she does get a good pace, obviously, with Serengeti Empress, Jaywalk, Bellafina, Guarana. But look at Sophie. She doesn't even know what to do. She's got such a load of horse. She's just like, you know what? I'm going to stay out in the middle of the racetrack because I'm going by all these horses very easily here at this point. If she gets this same kind of pace up front, Midnight Bisou is going to have to hold her off because this horse has got a lot of finish, and Sophie Doyle can straight out horseback, and she won this race very, very nicely.
I got to say, obviously she's a major player. If Midnight Bisou doesn't run her A-plus race, I thought that comeback effort from Paradise Woods was huge.
It was giant. It was giant, and
it was at Santa Anita.
And it showed that that Paradise Woods could rate. And a horse that a lot of people forget was your favorite for the Kentucky Oaks after a smashing maiden win, and everybody thought she was the next coming. Maybe she's coming back around at 5 years old.
Get your tickets, breederscup.com/tickets. Be part of championship weekend. This guy's going to be there, enjoying the fun, the sun, and all the tremendous runners. We're back with our final weekend of the meet.
Yes.
Saturday, Sunday, maximum security. DQ'd out of the Kentucky Derby, back in action for the first time since his Haskell victory. Tomorrow on our show, using that bold ruler as his final prep to either the Grade 1 Cigar Mile or the Clark. So we hope you tune in tomorrow. In the 8th, Wesley Ward, bound for nowhere. Jose Ortiz on his way, a little bit closer to becoming a millionaire for Wesley. We'll see you tomorrow.
Flatter. This prolific son of A.P. Indy has sired 6 millionaires, including Eclipse champion West Coast. This year, he's adding even more stakes winners to his outstanding record, including Sovereign Award winner Aves Flatter. In the auction ring, his yearlings have topped the Fasig-Tipton July sale 2 years in a row. Success on the track, success in the ring, Flatter, standing at Cleveland Park.
It's been home to some of the sport's biggest moments, monumental achievements, and extraordinary records. At Santa Anita, we'll set another before the first gate even opens, as the Breeders' Cup returns for a record 10th time. This November, the stars will shine. Champions will be crowned. And when the unbelievable happens, you'll want to be there to see it. The Breeders' Cup World Championships.
There's a power so selfless, it has the ability to heal, to inspire, to unite, to change your life.
It only takes 20 cents to take down an Empire. The Empire 6 is the jackpot 20-cent pick six bet that's offered every day at Belmont Park. One unique winning ticket earns the entire net pool, plus the jackpot carryover. Without a unique ticket, 75% is distributed to winners with 25% added to the jackpot. Win big with the Empire 6. Next mandatory payout date, Sunday, October 27th. Visit nyra.com/Empire6 for complete details.